Alright guys, welcome to another beer review, and we're going back to Bavaria. Don't know why I'm wearing that on my wrist. And we're going to Weihenstaphaner in Freising. Now of course they make probably the world's most famous Hefeweizen, and very respected brewery. Chances are some of your favourite brewmasters might have even been taught there. So yeah, it's a brewery that I think everybody knows, whether you're into that sort of beer or not. Plus they don't just do wheat beers. And yeah, so this is actually one that I'm really excited about because it's a collaboration with one of my all-time favourite breweries, and that of course is Sierra Nevada. And this is the collaboration that they did called Braupakt, which is a wheat beer, or Hefeweizen, which is hopped with, I believe it's Amarillo and Chinook. I can't remember. So of course we've got that potential Sierra Nevada Pale Ale vibe. And yeah, what an intriguing collaboration. I know Sierra Nevada have actually done a couple of collaborations with German brewers. I know they did one with Ria Geller, if I remember correctly. And of course, a little bit of trivia, Schneidweisser did a collaboration with Brooklyn Brewery, and then that turned into a regular beer called the Hopfenweisser. But we're not here to talk about Schneidweisser, even that's the only wheat beer glass I've got, which let's give the glass a little bit of customization, because, you know, we're an elegant, sophisticated channel, of course. Look at that. You could sell that for an extra £10 as a gift, as a Geschenk. So, I'm not going to be saying any more German because I've realised that my small lack of German has just become absolutely minute. Before I get into this, massive thank you to Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, who actually picked this up for me and gave it to me, as well as, can't remember what the other beer was now. Oh yeah, it was the Northern Monk Obelisk, which I'm looking forward to trying. And yeah, he picked this up for me, and yeah, awesome guy. Got to meet him for the second time, as well as Rob for the second time, and Stuart for the second time up in Huddersfield these past couple of days ago from recording this video. So yeah, I never thought I'd actually be able to get hold of this because I've not really seen it around in any places where I would buy beer, if that makes sense. So yeah, in a 500ml bottle, very traditional German style, and you can see how hazy it is already. So yeah, this is coming in at, where's that? Where's the ABV? I think it's 5.5%, if I remember correctly. 6%, so it's a 6% ABV, Hefeweizen. I think they brewed this earlier on in the year, and I know a few people have reviewed it now. I know Rob, if I remember correctly, I think he's tried this and he said it was really nice. But I'm sure it will be. I mean, you've got the tradition, well, you've got two very traditional breweries in two different meanings of the words. I mean, traditional in the sense of Sierra Nevada, who probably were one of the breweries to kickstart the craft beer movement, and then we've got Weihenstaphaner, very traditional, and yeah, like I was saying, it's a brewery where people all over the world go to train and become brewmasters, again, all over the world. So German brewing culture is just, as you can clearly tell, it's my favourite. So without any further ado, let's get this beer poured and see what we get. And that is pouring really nicely so far. Best before date on this one is either January or February next year, so I'm not sure when this batch was brewed. Make sure we don't get an overspill. And that is quite a hefty head. Let's lift up the skirt so you can see the beer itself. A lovely, hazy, slightly murky looking beer. Lovely sort of amber golden hues there. And the head is erupting, so to get rid of the schaum. But yeah, look at that, a healthy 4 fingers worth of a slightly creamy looking pale beige head. But yeah, it certainly looks the part, doesn't it? It's got the murk, it's got the haze. You can definitely tell that it's hoppy, but of course it's a wheat beer, so it's going to be quite dense looking anyway. But it looks absolutely fantastic in the glass, even with this very crude Bavarian flag wrapped around the top of the shaft. But anyway, enough immaturity. Let's see if we can get some sort of aroma from this beer. Banana bread batter. It's got a lovely vanilla-like sweetness to it. On the bottle, you're getting a little bit more of a concentrated American hop character, but not like overwhelmingly so or anything like that. It's still very traditional smelling. But yeah, it's wheaty, it's sweet, it's like banana bread batter, as I was saying. It's got that subtle herbal spiciness in there as well. Also has like a musky rocket type of aroma. But yeah, it's soft, it's gentle. It smells really, really nice. And you know by now that I'm not the biggest fan of like Hefeweizens or wheat beers in general, but this, when they're brewed well and they've got the history behind it, chances are, or if there's something a little bit different about it with an addition of hop, or if it's like a Doppelweizen, or you know, one of those sorts of beers where there's something just a little bit special about it, I'm probably a little bit more partial to try it. But as a lover of German beer, and Sierra Nevada being one of my all-time favourite breweries, I am so excited to try this. So Craig, a massive, massive thank you to you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to give this a try. So to yourself, and of course all you guys watching, Prost. The body's incredible. It's creamy, it's pillowy, it's got girth, but it's light at the same time. Just so soft. There's no harshness there at all. Lovely quality water, as you would expect. Let's put that in the bin. There we go. It's got all the classic flavours of a well-brewed Hefeweizen with a little bit of an American hop twist. Some might drink this and think, oh, I was expecting a little bit more. But if you were to do that, you might take away from the beer and take it into that sort of like American pale wheat, whatever, that sort of, hoppy wheat beer that's very popular over in the States. But this, it's got lovely dryness on the back end without it being too harsh on the palate. There's got like some woodiness in there, like a barrel quality as well. Yeah, but the hop selection and the right amount of hops just give it a little bit more character and personality than your regular Hefeweizen. I'm not sure if this is like the same recipe that they use for the Hefeweizen that they're well known for, if it was a completely new recipe from start to finish. But I love how simple it is. It's not too in your face, it's not straying away too far. I mean, as much as I love the experimental side of craft brewing and brewing in general, it's really nice when you see people coming together and making a beer that still has that traditional feel to it. And I was mentioning Schneiderweiser before with the Hopfenweiser that they do. It's reminded me of that actually. Just a little bit more reined in and mellowed out. Those hops just give you a little bit of like a light citrusy tone, which helps lift the beer, because wheat beers for me always feel heavy as they're going down. I think it's just the genetic makeup of the beer. So I can't really drink too much, even if it's a low ABV version. It just doesn't sit right for me. But this, if I was to have like a full mass of this, or do you know what I mean, I would be very happy. You know, whenever I drink German beers now, I'm instantly transported back to Regensburg, one of the most beautiful places in one of the most beautiful countries that I've ever been to. So many great memories there. I spent 4 great years there, and I drank so many wonderful beers. And this really transports me back. But with the addition of Sierra Nevada, it just makes it that little bit more special as well. I mean, am I reminded of the likes of the Pale Ale or Torpedo or anything like that? Very subtly, very subtly. I don't think there's any Cascade in this. Maybe that would have been nice to add some Cascade, but then again, it might have taken it a little bit too far removed from what they wanted to achieve. I'm not sure what they were initially trying to do here, whether they were just trying to make this like a big, bold sort of beer, or if it's just something a little bit different. But I like it. It respects the tradition, but gives it a lovely contemporary edge. And it works beautifully. And I can't think of 2 better established and well-respected breweries to come together and collaborate. Because I know Martin from Probier TV, or TV, I should say, he was actually there. I think because they held the event at Weihenstephan, which it's an English interview. So he's talking to the brewer from Sierra Nevada and one of the guys from Weihenstaphaner. And yeah, so I'll put that link down below. And of course, if any of my friends of fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, then I'll put their links down below as well. But yeah, this is lovely. It's a lovely, summery, hearty, traditional, yet new wheat beer. That doesn't try to blur the lines. It doesn't try to be out there or anything like that. It just reins it in, and you could just taste the quality and the craftsmanship of both breweries. And it's the body on this beer. It's just absolutely sensational. It really, really is. And now that the rest's in there, there's a little bit more of like a slightly tart sherbety note coming through from those American hops, which works nicely with that sweet banana-y and then that clove in there as well. And it doesn't have that, which I do sometimes find with this style, like a not satisfying aftertaste. There's lovely hoppy bitterness on the back end, which I really, really like. So yeah, it's what I expected and more with this. Is it the best beer I've drank all year? No, but it's definitely up there. Would I have it again? Hell yeah. Like I was saying, wheat beers don't really do much for me. So when it's something like this, that's got a little bit of like an event to it, do you know what I mean? There's something about it that sets it apart. Not that there's anything wrong with a well-brewed traditional wheat beer. So if you love the Weihenstaphaner Hefeweizen and you're a fan of Sierra Nevada, you've got the best of both worlds in this wonderful, wonderful beer. So in terms of a rating, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Wonderful stuff from 2 very fantastic breweries. And like I said, if any one of my friends and fellow beer tubers has reviewed it, links down below. Check out both breweries. I think I've got a few beers from each brewery down below, so if I remember to, I'll put the playlists down there as well. Check out my wheat beer playlist on the channel for some more great examples of this style. And I need to get a bottle of Hopfenweisse and compare it to this one now. So that could be a head-to-head video sometime soon. So, vielen Dank. Tschüss und auf Wiedersehen. Prost.